Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Walden Wong Art. And today we're going to be looking at Michael Golden's Marvel Stories Artist Editions. Here is the book. And for those of you who landed on my channel, you don't know who I am. My name is Walden Wong. I'm a comic book artist for Marvel and DC Comics. You can check out some of my work on my website. It's waldenwongart.com. You can also check out my Patreon page. Patreon is patreon.com/waldenwongart. So all of that out of the way, we're going to be looking at this Marvel Stories Michael Golden's Artist Edition. So here we go. Alright, so let's start off with how this comes in. It comes in a box like this. Here's the back side of the box. Here is the front side of the box. Usually these artist edition, they'll stick this label this way, but it seems like they're sticking it this way, which looks okay. And then here is the barcode for those of you who want to read the barcode and you want to order it. I've also added links below the my video description, so if you want to order this from Amazon, you can also order it there. That's where I got it also. So here is Michael Golden's Marvel Stories. Okay, I haven't opened this yet, so as I'm going to be looking at this, it'll be the first time I'm looking at it with you. So here's the back of it. Here's the front. I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to open this up. Get over here. Open this up. Okay, it hit my camera, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to open up this seal. How exciting. So I've met Michael Golden before. He was signing at a convention one time, and he's all the times I met him at a convention, he's usually just a quiet guy. I see him sketching behind his booth, and then like he has his agent Renee Wisticker or something. I remember one time I asked, can I get Michael Golden's signature? And I was talking to Renee, and then she goes, sure. And I gave him one of my books that I had, and then Renee signed it herself instead of having Michael Golden sign it. Anyway, so here is the top. Okay, looks like there's a spot gloss, which is kind of nice. Spot gloss is where there's like a reflective gloss on the image. Okay, there's Colossus, Kitty, you got like Cyclops over here, we got Wolverine over here, we got Nightcrawler here, we got Storm right over here, and then there's Colossus. Okay, here's the spine. Here's how the spine looks. Okay, Michael Golden's Marvel Stories Artist Edition. I don't know what to expect inside. And here is the Wolverine that he worked on. I think this is Michael Golden's signature. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to open up the page and we're going to look through this together. Okay, before we do that, what we want to do is when we have these artist editions, these new books, actually, you know what? It kind of opens nicely. It looks like it's stato stitching. So when you, okay, let's start from the beginning. I'm getting too excited over here. Okay, and as always, this is Captain America, living legend of World War II. And as always, if you want to look at it some more or read some of the descriptions, feel free to pause the video. Here's the second page, Marvel Stories Artist Editions. And we have that cover from Marvel Fanfare. I believe it's like Marvel Fanfare number 3 cover. I remember that because either number 3 or number 5, Marvel Fanfare. Okay, and it's going here. And then we have IDW Publishing, all the credits from the people that works there. First printing July 2023, all these other stuff. And then there's special thanks. I'm going to bring this closer, so if you guys want to read up a little bit, most of the time these special thanks is because the publisher got the original art from these people, that they can scan it and they'll just say thank you. Okay, dedicated to Jason Pearson. And then now we're going on to the first page about this edition. Michael Golden's Marvel Story Artist Edition is part of an ongoing series, one dedicated to showcasing extraordinary artists in a format as special as their work deserves. Table of contents, so we got Avengers Annual, Doctor Strange, Marvel Fanfare, and the Now. Avengers, Doctor Strange, Marvel Fanfare, Nam. Okay, let's see if there's any more after this. So this art edition doesn't actually have a whole story. It just has pages in between, but you can look through the art. So not so much as reading this to get the art, but more so to look at the artwork. Okay, here, this one's for the Avengers. And as I mentioned before, most of the original art back then, they were cut on the side. So you can kind of see the cuts over there. These original artist editions is where they'll take the original artwork and they'll scan it and they'll print it in this edition. So the artwork, you'll see that it's a little bit yellowish, and then here's some of the white. I prefer seeing artwork that's all white. Okay, looks like this is Michael Golden's signature over here. Same as down over here. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can move this back a little bit so we can see the whole book. Okay, let me grab one of my erasers and put the eraser underneath here so it's leveled. Okay, here's more. I wonder if Michael Golden inked himself on this. Let's take a quick look at the credits. It doesn't say if he inked himself, so I'm going to assume that he did ink himself. Okay, we're going to go through this page. So Michael Golden is, from what I've learned of him, was he's also a designer. He was originally a designer that became a comic book artist. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment down below. And he has a good design method in his artwork. Michael Golden's artwork is so much better now compared to like past decades and years of some of these work. I wasn't really a fan of Michael Golden. I didn't really know who he was until I started working in the comic book industry, and people were saying, Michael Golden's work is great. Michael Golden's work is awesome. There was a time when I was working on Excalibur for Marvel Comics, and I was inking over my friend Pablo Ramondi. And then he was a fan of Michael Golden's work. Yeah, if you look at for a miniseries for Marvel Comics that I worked on, that Pablo Ramondi pencil and that inked, it was I think it was a 4-issue miniseries or 5-issue series. And I talked to Pablo a lot, and then he will always tell me that Michael Golden is such an amazing artist. And then I looked at Pablo's work, and it does remind me of Michael Golden's work. And Pablo will always tell me, I'm light years away from how Michael Golden draws. He's such an inspiration. He's such a great artist. And when I was working with him on Marvel Comics, that Excalibur title, he would always, pretty much we would talk on the phone all the time. And he would always tell me how amazing Michael Golden is. And so I started looking him up, and then, I found out he worked on Micronauts and some Marvel Fanfare, and then later on also the Nam. I do have the Marvel Fanfare when I was a little kid, but I didn't really pay attention to who the artist was. So we're going to see some of that in here a little bit later. So here are some more of the artwork. So look at those big manga-ish eyes. Look, when I'm looking at this, I see a little bit of Arthur Adams. Okay, so I'm sure Arthur Adams. Michael Golden is a little bit of influence over Arthur Adams too. So I see some of the work. And later on, when I started working comics, I also believe that Michael Golden worked on a Jackie Chan comic book produced by Topps Comics. Topps, the trading card company that does all these sports cards. Later on, they also ventured into working in comic books. So they did a Jackie Chan and some other titles. Jackie Chan comic book. Jackie Chan, that Asian cinema action star. So here's some of the noun pages. Okay, so I do know that Michael Golden, when he's doing all these work, all these taper lines and all these hatch lines, he's using a micron. And how do I know that he's using a micron? Because one time there was a collector who contacted me and asked me to re-ink some of the pages that Michael Golden penciled. And it was a non-page. And what had happened was majority of that one page turned brownish like this. So I'm going to bring this closer to the camera so you can see. Now, if you look at those words, that was inked by a micron, early in micron. Microns have a tendency to fade in color. Black ink usually stays black. But microns, as well as Sharpie, over time, over decades, they're going to start fading and it's going to start turning brown. That one page I had was the majority of the page was turning brown. And to a point where it was starting to disappear and you can't see it anymore. So that was a noun page. Okay, like some of these, I could tell that originally it's kind of turning brown because the color difference is here. So this is kind of the brownish color. This little thing here was because originally there was a word balloon that was taped on with glue stick. And I mentioned this before in my other videos about artist editions. If you collect artwork and you have original art and you have this here, some people would like to keep that on there. And some collectors would like to rip it off because over time, that's just going to turn brown and it's just going to fall away. I don't know if you guys who collect original artwork have those pieces like floating around and you want to tape, or you want to like re-glue together. I wouldn't re-glue it together. I would just leave it off. Now, there's one thing back in the day when comic book artists, they would draw stuff and then they would mark this in red. You see these red lines and these little burst lines. This is to show the colors, what they want the colors to stay within. Okay, the colors will go in there and just like remove some of that, and then they would just color that burst. Otherwise, without it, the colors wouldn't know the shape of it. Okay, so that was drawn in by the penciler Michael Walden. Okay, here's Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's right over here. And then here's some more of the pages that Michael cover. So Excalibur, right over there. Okay, this isn't Excalibur that I'm working on. This is covers that Michael Walden has done. Okay, look at all these little characters. Like if you look in here, you can see it's like these stretchable characters, like Reed Richards, like floating around in circle, all the way to the little one over there. You may not have noticed that before. So the design aspect of the artwork is very clear. Artists that work in comic books, actually, artists that works in any kind of medium, every line that they put there's no accidental lines. Every line is drawn on purpose. I like how this computer tower that he has here was strategically placed there, and that is because Marvel Comics or DC Comics, what is this one for? For Generation X, they placed a UPC code over here. This was pretty clever, as adding a computer tower over there. Just like a UPC code over here. Now, some of you who collected comics around the 80s and the 90s, you may notice that if you bought comic books in the comic book store, you would see on the UPC area, they would have like a character, like a face there. But if you bought them at 7-Eleven or a supermarket, they would have a UPC code there. Those were the difference between comic books that was sold back then. Some of them were sold in newsstands, like Safeway or like 7-Eleven or Corner Store. And then some comics were sold in specialty comic book stores that had a logo that didn't have a UPC code. Here is the Marvel fanfare that I was talking about. First issue. This is actually the first issue, not even third issue. So I remember getting this cover. I bought this comic, and I did not know that Michael Walden worked on this. Okay, I actually didn't know that he worked on this until now, as I'm looking at this. Like, I don't really pay attention to what artists worked on what when I first started collecting comic books. Back then, I used to just think comic books were made by a machine. Right, it was just something that just came out. Okay, these are taped on. It looks like it's actually hand-drawn, taped on. Yeah, it wasn't until I started working in comics that I started paying attention to artists that worked on it. I started paying attention to the pencilers, started paying attention to the inkers and the colorists, even letterers and writers. But before then, I didn't really pay attention to the artists that worked on it. So here's another spread. Let's see. So this one's for the Hulk. No, actually, this one's for Marvel Fanfare. This spread over here. Okay, I like how it's nicely centered. And then on this side, here's an interior page. Right over here. This one looks pretty nice. Right over here. Of the Hulk. Okay. And you see if we can find any Easter eggs in this artwork. Okay, I'm going to turn to this page. We have Cyclops here. There's a Mutant X issue 24, Michael Walden's signature. I recognize his signature because I've gotten his autograph before. So this is some of his more recent signature. It looks more like this. And I guess back then, the way he signs before was like, how regular people sign their checks. We saw it earlier. Let me see if I can go back and show it. But then, you can always go back and rewind the video like this. This is Michael Walden's original signature. I'm pretty sure that is how he signs his checks or his credit cards. But when he's at comic book convention, he'll sign it like this. Like for example, when I sign my checks or when I sign credit card my bills and stuff, I sign it differently than when I'm at a comic book convention. When I'm at a comic book convention, I'll sign my name a specific way. So I have two signatures, one a comic book signature and then one that's like a real signature. Michael Golden's doing signature. Pages turn yellow. And here's Mutant X. Here is the NAMM cover, issue number 4, inside back cover. Look at that, look at this. These are those red things that he taped down there so the colors would know what to do. Otherwise, some colors, they don't have any directions. So working in the comic book industry, you'll be surprised. And I'm saying this because this is what I learned. Not all inkers will know how to draw. Not all colors will know how to draw. So giving them a little bit direction will always help. Not all letterers know how to do art touch-up and background touch-up. So helping them out is a little bit helpful. Okay, here's some of the artwork, and this is the design method that Michael Golden is really good at doing. All these indications in red, you see that, is removed red lines. You see where it says removed red lines? They're going to color it on a film, and then after that, they're just going to remove all the red lines. So back then, this is before computer coloring. Okay, I know before computer coloring, they had colorists who would do color guides, and they would send in all these numbers with markings, and then they're like a plastic film that overlays one color at a time. Today, colors are done on Photoshop, which is much easier. Okay, and here's another one. Look, someone went all out with a glue stick, and this all that yellowing. So if you're an artist, try to see those red lines. It's fading away because it was a red micron. You see how it's fading? Some of the ink art is also fading. So what IDW Publishing did was when they got the scan, they'll scan all the artwork, and then you notice that some of the black words here is much darker compared to some of the black ink over here, because this is starting to fade. So they would need a computer, and they need to do adjustment, darkness, and threshold, and dodging and burning just to make that a little bit darker. Yeah, when I was at a convention and I was watching Michael Golden draw, I saw him inking with the same microns that he's probably used before. So microns are easy. So microns, what I mean is these are microns over here. So they have these micron, which has a tendency to fade, and then they have these, which is waterproof. I actually refill my microns. If you look at some of the videos that I've done in the past, look for one of the videos that has the most views. That video, I demonstrate how to refill these microns with your own ink. So if you're using waterproof ink and you want to use these over and over again, you can refill it. Okay. Anyway, back to this book here. Okay, very nice design, very clean, very solid, the artwork. And back then, the artwork, titles, and everything, look, I can see the ink that's painted over here. Okay, all these were placed down, even the price over here. You can kind of see, like if I bring it closer and you look at the price tag, $2.95, it's like a cut and paste kind of thing. I remember when I was starting out in my career, I also did some lettering. I've done some lettering for Viz Media. I remember going to a Costco. Costco is like a wholesale store that sells it's like a big box store. And I remember buying this whole big set of 36 glue stick, because lettering back then wasn't done on a computer. It was done on where we would print stuff on Microsoft lettering stuff, and we would print different bubbles, and we would just get an X-Acto knife and cut it and then place it in there. Here's the Punisher with Daredevil and Spider-Man. Here's a spread over here. Okay, we turn this back around, and let's see what's on the other side. The other side we have the Daredevil here. My friend David Williams, he kind of draws, actually, I'm not Daredevil, Wolverine. He kind of draws Wolverine with that same shape over here. So David Williams, if you're watching this, I'm mentioning you because this reminds me of how you draw. So I know you have a little bit of a Michael Golden influence in you too. Okay, if you guys don't know who David Williams is, David is spelled David, and then Williams. He's a great artist, really good artist. Here's some of the Ghost Rider. Even the flames look very nice. Remove red lines. I don't know why, if you're working with an artist for a long time, of course remove red lines. Okay, but again, we never know if a colorist is someone new or someone who just has a forget, and they would just not remove the red line and just leave it inked color like that. Okay, the Punisher War Journal Suicide Run. If I had the original artwork and I would peel the Suicide Run, we would see the whole War Journal over there. Okay, all these bullets. Okay, we have Punisher War Journal right over here. Now, if I had to ask you, which page takes longer to draw? Okay, probably all the bullets. I was gonna say with all this black over here, I don't know, man. I don't know how this looks. Okay, you have a white box here with the crosshairs and the telescope shooting thing, but it's all white and it's all wonky. What do? Make this black and make this white? It doesn't look that neat. That's from a design aspect for a cover. Direct edition. This is the direct edition I was telling you about. Back here, this one says direct edition, meaning that it's not going to have a UPC code. I think these days, today in comic books, if you buy it directly from a comic book store or buy it at a newsstand, rarely comic books are in a newsstand these days. They're all UPC codes, which is just more friendly to scan and charge stuff. So this one is Marvel Stories. Michael Golden's done so much other work, so I guess we're not gonna see any DC stuff here. And there was another artist edition that IDW did, which was Micronauts. I wasn't able to get that. That sold out. I saw it in stock, and then I said I was gonna wait a couple of days before ordering it, and then it just sold out. So before this came up for order, I pre-ordered it on Amazon because I didn't want to miss out, knowing how Micronauts were sold out right away. So I ordered it right away. So if you guys really want this, I have a feeling that this is going to sell out. So again, look for the link underneath my video description. And if you want to order one from Amazon, order it as soon as possible. So here's What If Avengers Defeated Everybody. This one is What If also. This is What If. Okay, we have more. Michael Golden Table of Contents Part 3. Pinups, portfolio, plates, sketches, and rarity. What is plates? Okay, a place is something that they termed back then. And here is, I'm going to bring this closer, so if you want to pause the video and read up on that. Okay, here. And then now we have the Defenders over here. We're going to continue flipping through the pages to take a looking at it. We're going to continue looking at it. We have Doctor Strange. See, now this is a nice design aspect of it. Okay, there's white ink inked on top of the actual artwork. Some of the thinner lines are done with white ink. Yeah, some of them are done with white ink. But some of these, they're inked around. So instead of using white ink to noodle that in, looks like Michael Golden just went around that area. Okay, Golden signature is just a G. This is July of 1982. That's a long time ago. This is before I even started collecting comic books. This is a long, long time ago. So we have something here, Michael Golden, 1982. We have another spread here. Here's this one. Okay, so this was just some inks, and it looks like there's some zipatone. Actual real zipatone that Michael Golden placed on top to give it a little bit of gray tone. We're going to go down and look at the bottom portion. G looks like a bow with a bow, just a bow. Okay, now we're going to look at the other side. Okay, man, too much flipping around. Okay. IDW should just kept it all this side so we don't flip stuff around. Okay, here is Captain Marvel, Rogue, and then we have Thor, Hulk, Spider-Woman, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Captain America, all on the floor. We have Wonder Man over here and the Beast. And we have some other characters back here that looks like it's, yeah, so Michael Golden's signature. Here's this new signature, that bow. Okay, oh, so this is pretty cool. we see the evolution of Michael Golden's signature on covers. So earlier I mentioned this thing that looks like a G over here, Golden, and then later on he moved to something like this. So I think this is his middle initials. I think that's his middle initials. Let's check. Earlier we saw a signature that has his middle name on it. Okay, so this I didn't know. Okay, I don't know what his middle name is. Michael looks like a T. Michael T. Golden. Is that his name? Okay, Michael Golden. Okay, let's see, what do they call him here? Michael Golden. So I think his middle name begins with a T. Michael T. No, that's an L, either T or L. So later on, when he started making his autograph logo, it's where it is. Yeah, it looks like it's an L. So I guess that's an MLG or something. Okay, I can't really distinguish. I know that's a G on the bottom, and that's an L. And so if you know what's going on, if you can dissect that logo, please comment down below, let me know. Okay, and then now we have now we have Galactus and Silver Surfer. Look how neatly organized all of these shapes are. Even these cracks over here, like it's neatly, very neat. Cosmic Powers Unlimited. I like how he has his stamp that says, please return this original artwork to Michael Golden. Okay, yeah. I remember when I first started doing comic books, I also made a stamp for myself. On the stamp, it just says Inks by Walden Wong, and I would stamp the back of every artwork. Because back then, comic book artists, we didn't really scan the artwork ourselves. We actually, oh, here's Sabretooth, Michael Golden getting his design chops on and just started taping this on right over here. And then now we have the next page. Okay, the Age of Apocalypse, historical moment, the salvation of Exodus. Okay, here is all the details. So much going on. So little detail. You know, I can literally sit here and study this page for a whole day. And then once I'm done studying it, I will go back there and study it again. Just has a little bit of King Jack Kirby style machinery texts over here. So that kind of reminds me of Jack Kirby stuff. Okay, here is a X-Men. See if I can recognize this. Here's Galactus, Colossus. Is that Wolverine? I never seen Wolverine. What kind of outfit? Okay, if those of you who've seen this outfit, I've never seen this before. Kitty, Lockheed, Professor X, Nightcrawler. This is Storm. I forget who that was. That's the love interest of Professor X. I don't know who that is. This is Colossus, kind of cartoony, Galactus, and Wolverine. Wolverine kind of reminds me of this other character that looks kind of like Wolverine. And then here we have Lady Deathstrike and Cyclops. And we have all the plants back here, and we have all the tech here. The tech here probably took Michael Golden longer to do compared to the rest of the characters over here. He did not write a remove red. And this just takes too long. Like this just takes way too long. Like, I know this takes long because he's using some of them. There is some circle templates, and then there's a lot of ruler work over here. Text stuff to me takes a long time because I have to use my left hand to hold the ruler, keep it straight, and I will ink that line there. Freehanding is easier. So here is Michael Golden. This one's called Lady Demon. I've never heard of this before. This was inked by Terry Austin. Okay, Terry Austin. So this looks like they're using some kind of tone paper because there's some gray wash here. Maybe this is gray wash. Yeah, I think Terry Austin was doing some gray wash here. So that's Terry Austin's signature. I've never seen this before. Okay, this looks like airbrushing over here. This looks like a gray wash. Some of the clouds back here. This looks like the duck. What's that duck called? Howard the Duck. And then we go to the next page. Star-Lord, This is Lady Demon. I don't know what that about. There's Star-Lord. Terry Austin signs it right over here. Michael L. Golden. So this is L, okay? Okay, the Marvel Indicia logo that does all the trademark markings. Here we have more. I think that's Colossus and Professor X. Okay, and we have another spread over here. Let's take a look at that. This one is for, what is it for? Used for paste up only. I think this is for Generation X. These are some of the Gen X characters. Was this a pinup or cover? It looks like it's a cover. So the cover logo will be here, and these are some of the characters. And this is the inside back cover. And we're gonna look. Oh, here is the double page. I wonder if this is original double pager or if it was. Yeah, it was a double pager. It looks like there's some lines that doesn't connect completely, so that tells me that it was a double pager. So this is right over here. We have the Sentinels on the top, and then we have the X-Men on the bottom. This image was also used for the cover of this artist edition. So let's put that away and look at the cover. So that's the cover. Okay, we're gonna flip this here. You know, I'm looking at these artist edition and the pages are so old. I feel like, even though this is new, this was just printed. As I'm making this video, I got this book like 2 days ago. Okay, so this is a brand new book, but I feel like it's so brittle because some of the paper are like, the print of the original art was so old. I know that if the publisher IDW wanted to take these images and do some levels and adjusting, they can make this like a completely black and white comic book without having to show some of the grayness or some of the brownish. But I think the publisher that makes these artist edition wants the reader to make it feel like they're looking at a piece of original art, which is understandable, which is kind of cool. John Beatty, Michael Golden and John Beatty. John Beatty is a good friend. I met him at Heroes Con. He also inks over a lot of other books. John Beatty did a lot of comic books, and he also worked on Kelly Jones. Worked with Kelly Jones a lot, so it's good to see him. Also, Mike Zeck. So John Beatty is like one of the famous inkers. He worked with a lot of legendary artists over here. I don't know who this character is. I think it's some character from the Nam. Let's see, Mokirine M18. And then we have some more ink artworks. Michael Golden. This is the Punisher that Michael Golden's worked on. Looks different than this Punisher. So a lot of lines, these precise lines that Michael Golden likes to draw. Oh, look at the floor. It's actually like all these bullets that are like drawn in to have the logo over here. Okay, now we're gonna go to the next page. We have some pencil artwork. This is the pencil artwork. I should actually just take one of these, rescan it, and then do some blue line inking on it. Okay, here is another one here. Spider-Woman, and then we have Elektra. This was drawn when? 1982. 1982, we have Spider-Man with some zip-tone, looks like some trading card artwork here. Okay, and another Spider-Man over here. And then we have Valkyrie and Storm. Okay, and then we go here, we have the Hulk. The Hulk. I assume that's Bruce Banner. Okay, and then right over here we have a sideway panel. Terror by the Thy Name Be, what is that? Thorgoltonites. Okay, and then now we go to the next page. Table of Contents. Michael Golden, Part 4. Completed stories. I wonder why you had to like add all these table of contents. Just do it all in the front. Like, why you have to like chop it up? Anyway, whatever the designer went. Maybe they just had extra pages to fill in or something. Here we got some Spider-Man, some zipper tones, some tape on the bottom that had some text information. You can kind of see it. Gold soldiers titles and stuff. Okay, some over here. Like if I'm gonna hold this up, you can kind of read through it a little bit. Okay, FedEx to Michael Golden. Okay, so that means artwork was done, and someone in Marvel Art Returns said FedEx to Michael Golden. Okay. And then we have here Stan Lee presents Renovation. Script Bill Mantle, Jim Novick, editor Al Milgrom, Tom DeFalco, everything else Michael Golden. Why is Michael Golden's name all the way back there? It should be all the way in the front because he's artwork. He did all the artwork. Okay, I like how he has the tones on the glasses. Look at some of these shadowing may be like a mess here, but it's a really organized, nicely designed, like all the folds and stuff. Folds are some of the drawings that are really easy to draw, but these are like nicely placed. Okay, next we have next page. I don't want to skip any pages here. And then we have Marvel Fanfare, another page. I don't know if this was inked by himself or like Terry Austin or John Beatty inked it. Let's see if the credits says anything. Okay, let's see if those credits are pulling through letters written by. Okay, so it didn't say who inked it, so I just assumed that Michael Golden inked it himself. So looks like look at this, everyone. Look at this. So Michael Golden originally drew something on these little windows, but Marvel didn't like it. Marvel didn't want that to be there, so they cut out these little sticky things, like sticky paper, and just covered it all up. Okay, which was easier. Okay, and I can explain how all this works. So if you're a letterer, not a letterer, but I used to letter comic books, and then we used to do this. I would take a whole blank sheet of sticky paper, I would place it on top, and I would use an X-Acto knife, and I would cut around it so I have that exact same shape. And once I have that cut, I would peel that paper out and just stick it right there, and that would just cover up the whole thing there, which is easier than using whiteout. And this was before they had Photoshop to do all the removal stuff. Okay, so I know how all of that used to work from before. And then here is Marvel Fanfare. We have the Hulk, the funny, cartoony looking Hulk right over here. The lettering here, actually the letters are pretty good. The lettering is over here. Okay, okay. So sometimes when you're looking at artwork, you never know if the letterer actually lettered this or if Michael Golden did this himself. I know Michael Golden has a background in design, so I'm thinking that maybe he lettered it. Let's take a look. Okay, so the way I'm looking at this is I'm looking at some of these letters and I'm looking at this letters just to see if the inks match. Looks like Michael Golden did this. Okay, we have this. We have the Hulk versus Spider-Man. And look at all the detail work here. This takes a lot of time. Being a comic book artist myself, working for Marvel and DC and doing backgrounds and foregrounds and stuff, everything that's black here, all the shadow and the silhouettes and all these halo lines that separates the white outline and then these ink lines here, that takes a long time to ink. I can ink this whole page in less time than inking all of this here. Originally, I can see that there's a map back here, like on a monitor, but that was all removed. Okay, and then we have this page. Some more stuff is removed. What does it say? Why? Okay, we're gonna go look at here. Some more pages. Okay. Now it's strange. There's whiteout that's being used here, and then here's Spider-Man. I don't know. Looks okay, I guess. Line weights are kind of weird. Like I would ink the line weight of the head a little bit better because you see how thick that line is and then how thin the fingers are. Foreground should be thicker. I'm not saying whoever did this is bad or if Michael Golden inked it himself, but it's not how I would approach inking that. Okay, here's some more. Yeah, so when I'm looking at this as a professional inker myself who's been doing comics for a long time for both Marvel and DC, I would ink certain pieces differently to make things pop forward and to make things like move back a little bit. So this tells me that Michael Golden is using microns again. Microns. With microns, you can't really create line weights. It's just the same thickness the same numbers that you're using, either the thickest one or the thinner one, or the thinnest one. So in order for you to create thickness, you have to go back in there and draw the line twice and fill it in. Some lines are easier done with a brush or with a crow quill. Crow quill is like these dip pins. It just breaks my heart where stuff was originally placed there and removed. Okay, here's the Hulk. And it has a little bit of a, you know, when Michael Golden does all the hatch lines and the cross hatch, look at the detail here. I'm going to bring this closer so you guys can see all the little noodling of that. That is a page, if I was working on this, I would set that aside and I would ink a building here, I would draw a building here and there in between pages. Because can you imagine drawing all of those windows, all those buildings, all the little awnings, the little cars and stuff on the bottom? So much going on. And then we're gonna go look at this one. Is Wolverine. This looks like the same image. Okay, J. Jonah Jameson. So J. Jonah Jameson. So I think that's Peter Parker over here. Wolverine. Yeah. So yeah, I can tell Michael Golden's using fine liners. Fine liners, like as I mentioned, these guys, or another brand of those guys, and everything is just one dead line weight. There's not a lot of line weights that's going on. There's maybe a few of them. Like for example, like the head here, I would ink this head so much thicker because this is in the foreground, but that arm here is like so thick. Marvel Holiday Special. I think Arthur Adams did the cover for the Marvel Holiday Special. Maybe a different holiday. Here's more of Michael Golden's artwork. Thank Mike. This is a little water gun. The Nam, 5th to the 1st by Doug Murray and Michael Golden. The Nam, 1967. Okay, right here we have, this is gonna be a fun pen. Now I would ask you guys to pause the video and just look at all the Easter eggs. We have the Marvel Comics jacket over here. We have some Japanese words, so this tells me that they're at a store, and it's a holiday sale. Oh, well, of course, Marvel Holidays Special. We have some action figures. We have some toys. We have a Wolverine action figure here. We have a Super Soaker. We have a G.I. Joe. Oh, I'm surprised they let G.I. You know, maybe Marvel was working on G.I. Joe at the time. Some Legos down here. This is fun to draw. There's like, what is this, Barney? Well, if whatever you guys see, comment down below. And we have Wolverine, all plastic toy, and then Skink. Okay, and then now we have the Nam. The Nam right over here. Some crosshatch detailing work over here. Shoot at 50%. Interesting. This is 11 by 17. Comic books these days are reduced to 67%. So back then it's like over here it says shoot at 50%. Now we have more. This is actually a pretty good work over here, the Nam. And now I didn't actually really read the Nam myself. Hopefully they'll reprint that to a new market so I can get some of the newer volumes and then read up some of the artwork here. So some of this is like, you see how thin that line work is? That looks like it's drawn with a 0.005 of a micron. See, everything's the same line thickness. There isn't really much line thickness here. Maybe that's what Michael Golden was going for, to push that further back into the background. Okay, a lot of airplanes. This is a panel border that chops off the head. Nicely done. I'm gonna go over here. A lot of these airplanes. The Sniper, 5th to the 1st by Doug Murray and Michael Golden. Okay. We have some more here, zip tones to give it a shade. We have some of the grass effects over here, the flowing grass, nicely flowing. Not a lot of the lines are cross-hatching. When Michael Golden does have some lines cross-hatching, he'll use white ink to go around it. Very nicely done. That's what I would also do as well. Okay, so because if you cross-hatch, if you're crisscrossing lines, it looks like a mess. But if you keep things organized, like these things, you don't have lines like Xing each other, but then they're flowing away from one another. You, like for example, this one, there's a white line that helps separate, that keeps everything nicely organized. It doesn't look like you're scribbling. Okay, there is so much work, just like outline around. I've never seen that. Actually, I've never seen that inking style before. That's interesting. I've never seen that in all my years of working in comics. Looks like everything's backed out, and then he uses a micron and just surrounded the outside of the leaves. It's like a halo. It's like a white outline around it. Interesting, interesting. Very nice. And then we have the last page, Michael Golden biography. And again, feel free to pause the video. I'm going to show the top part, and then I'm going to show the bottom part. Feel free to pause the video. You want to read the whole thing, bring it closer. And then the last page. Last page, is that the same as the inside? Nope, this is the Marvel stuff. And this is the Naum stuff. Okay, remove my erasers, move it out of here. And then we have the Wolverine, the spine, and the spot gloss cover. Right over here. Very nice. I like how the spot gloss, where I can like talk about the character. Okay, here's Cyclops. Okay, here's Wolverine. Here is Kitty Pryde. Here is Colossus. Here is Storm. I don't have to point at it. I'm using the glare for the spot gloss. So there you have it. That is the Michael Golden Marvel Stories Artist Edition. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to order a copy of this on Amazon, links below the video description, so you can order that there. Anything you order under my links, I will get a little bit of commission, so thank you very much for that. It helps support this channel that I make these videos for you to watch. So check that out. And again, if you want to know more about me, my name is Walden Wong. I'm comic book artist from Marvel with these comics. Check out my website. It's waldenwongart.com. And you can also check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/WaldenWongArt. There you have it. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take care. Bye-bye.